Good afternoon. My name is Michael Vasquez, and this is my presentation. The name is A Silence Nation. My name is Michael Vasquez, April 3rd, 2026. My professor is Professor Mondragon, and we are on History 6. Resistance. Tecumseh and Tenskwata lead a revival in the indigenous culture. They have wanted to preserve something more than land or money. Their culture was being robbed. At this rate, the brothers Tenskwata and Tecumseh would see their culture go nearly extinct. This indigenous resistance and the whitewashing of early America examines how Tecumseh and his brother were trying to lead a movement in America. The American Revolution. After the American Revolution, the white people wanted to expand westward. The westward expansion caused Native Americans to lose their land. The natives did not want to give their land up, and many were brutally murdered or displaced. This placed immense pressure on the native lands because they were being fought over the people who had it for thousands of years or the people who were more military advanced. Conflicts like the War of 1812 was the start of the fight between the natives and the white people. The white people were spreading savage propaganda. The Americans at the time would spread rumors that the Native Americans were savages. They would give this justification and feed it to other white people in order to make them feel better about killing and murdering and raping the Native Americans. If the people did not have a justification, they would have seen that, hey, this is wrong. We should not do this. Because they knew, even when they landed in the United States, that natives were people just like everybody else. The natives were deeply tied to religious and cultural beliefs that the Europeans, which were mainly Christian, did not believe in whatsoever. And as a Christian, they saw anything that was not Christian or Protestant needed to be conquered, and they were pagan and devil worshippers. And that's a reason that they used to use to feed into white people's brains so that they would make them feel better, like I said before. Tenskwata's foretelling. This is Tenskwata right here. He's Tecumseh's brother. Tenskwata would help by trying to maintain the native culture. He would invite native religion back into the culture of the Native Americans. He saw the culture taking a turn for the worst. I named this Tenskwata's foretelling because he was noticing that the culture and the religion was all going downhill, and they were losing all their native personalities. They were just being whitewashed. He noticed that the westward expansion, was very bad, and anything that the whites would claim more of would be the native land. And that means the natives would lose their land. Tecumseh taking leadership. Tecumseh is more is the more popular brother. Tecumseh led a revival in the religious field. Tecumseh led through military and politics. Tecumseh is more popular than his brother because the politics had more of an impact on the entire country. Tenskwata impact was mainly on the Indians that were being converted. I would say both are equally important. Tecumseh's involvement and movement was definitely more important for the side of growing and protecting themselves from white people that were trying to kill them. Indigenous unity. Tecumseh traveled to far states in order to build his unity amongst tribes. Building these tribes was essential because he knew that the unity was important to stand against the whites. Tecumseh's vision of unity was revolutionary. They all had a common enemy, even though they had many disagreements. They agreed that it was not right what the white people were doing, and they can't just come onto the land and claim it for themselves. The Battle of Tippecanoe. The Battle of Tippecanoe was the first recorded violent battles between the whites and the natives. It kind of kick-started the battles, and yeah. During this battle, whites attacked Tenskwata while Tecumseh was away looking for more tribes to recruit in order to fight off the Americans, the so-called Americans. This loss was incredibly detrimental for the chances of the natives winning the war. Next, the War of 1812. The War of 1812, Tecumseh was allied with the British. He hoped to stop the American expansion westward, and this alliance demonstrates that the native leaders like Tecumseh and Tenskwata were very advanced and were actually knowledgeable about global politics and how to defend their own nation. I'm just going to read these little notes. During the War of 1812, Tecumseh found an ally, which was an enemy of an enemy. These allies were the British. Even though the natives had helped, they still ended up losing more natives. Like I said in a previous homework assignment, and I believe I read it in American Yop, the natives, no matter which side they chose, were always getting the bad end of the stick. The end of a leader. A horrible turning point for the American revolt was the Battle of Thames. This battle was the battle that Tecumseh unfortunately died in. Tecumseh was easily the largest leader of the revolt against the Indian Removal Act. He died at the Battle of Thames. His death marked an end of the Indian Revolt since he was the head of the movement. He was more involved than his brother in politics. The aftermath. Tecumseh's death was a tragedy for the future of the Native Americans and Native history. Because of Tecumseh's early death, we will never know what would have happened if the natives would have overthrown the white people. Victors tell the story. After Tecumseh's death, natives were destined for destruction. By not having a strong leader in politics like Tecumseh, everything went downhill for the natives. They were robbed of their culture, and to this day, there are so many natives that do not have knowledge of Native American history. After his death, the United States expanded very aggressively to the west, and the only thing standing in between the East Coast which the whites had already taken over, and the West Coast was other European countries like Spain and France. Cultural impact on and today's perspective. Many of the natives were completely ingrained to think the white way is the only way for the natives. White is right. They started falling into the whitewashing and losing their culture. The white people would tell natives that they were savage after generations. To this day, I cannot say I know a lot of Native Americans. In San Bernardino, they have a powwow, but other than that, everything that Native Americans do is pretty much swept under the rug and kept on the reservation. Even today, they are associated with poverty unless through a casino and known as drunks. It also has, the Tecumseh's death has a lot of long-term effects. Like natives being associated with drunks and poverty. Because if the natives were never robbed of their land, they would have been millionaires and billionaires by now. But unfortunately, they had to die by sickness. My conclusion. In conclusion, the natives were robbed of a fair chance against the white people. No matter what the natives did, they seemed to get the short end of the stick. Tecumseh was their last chance of having a fighting chance, and he chose to fight in the war, which I think was a bad idea. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a wonderful day, and God bless.